What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Lace Up Channel. My name's Mickey. Last week, I got to do something so incredible that I have to share it with you guys. I had the opportunity to fly with a billionaire in his private G6 jet from Las Vegas to Alaska. And what I learned will absolutely melt your brain. I'm telling you guys, this is, even though the advice is going to seem so rudimentary, it's perhaps the most life-changing piece of business advice I've ever received. So, I'm going to show you what that is and how you can apply that to your distribution business. Anyways, let's get right into it. So ever since I was 16 years old, I've had this mentor, an individual that owned a series of casinos in Las Vegas. Every time I've ever had a business question, a business problem, or I've ever needed some advice, he's been a shoulder for me to lean on. And every year he invites me to go fishing. He has a fishing trip that he goes on with his friends, and we fly up to Alaska and we fly fish for big salmon and rainbow trout. It's awesome. But, this video isn't about the fishing trip. It's about what I learned by speaking to this individual. Now, because I'm somebody who's inquisitive, who likes asking questions, who likes to learn about others' experiences, the moment I boarded that plane, even though I was mind blown, I was thinking to myself, how does somebody go from nothing to be able to achieve essentially more money than God himself? How does that happen? How does it happen? Well, the first thing that this individual told me is it doesn't happen overnight. And you guys probably, Mickey, you've told this to me 1,000 times. I know it doesn't happen. No, that's not what I mean. I mean that it takes not only 30, 40, 50 years to do, but it takes maintaining a set of disciplines over all those years and being consistent with that discipline over all those years to make it happen. But to give you some context, how did this individual do it? How do you achieve a $60 million jet? How does that happen? Well, I can tell you, his journey starts when he falls in love with the gambling business. Then he makes his mind up that he will one day own a casino. Not unlike most of our journeys, right? We all thought we want to own a business or are thinking we want to own a business at some point. So he starts at a casino. He's great at it. He deals. He becomes a manager. He saves all of his money until he has just enough to buy his first casino. He buys his first casino, and the first year, it's an absolute dud and almost failure. But because he bet on himself, he thought, look, why don't I invent something that brings so much eyeballs that our fortunes change? And he was the first person that invented 50-cent drinks. Every drink at the bar, any whiskey, any cognac, any vodka is 50 cents. And you know what happened to his business? It absolutely skyrocketed. Everybody started coming to his casino. And within a couple years, the business was producing enough revenue to get the eyeballs of the competitors around, and they came and offered him a price. And he ended up walking away in the late 60s with over $1 million. Think about that for a minute. In the late 60s with over $1 million for this business. Now, don't think, guys, that he was like, yeah, I'm just going to take that $1 million and blow it, or I'm just going to take that $1 million and put it into the stock market. He thought to himself, I'm going to take that $1 million and invest it in me. Let's do this again. Let's run it back. He ends up taking that $1 million and buying a piece of land on the Vegas Strip. Think about that for a moment. The most expensive real estate in the world, perhaps. He bought a piece of land, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to make the biggest gold mine casino in the world. And that's exactly what he did. He built a casino that in the 70s was producing $400,000 that he would put in his pocket every single month. In the 70s. That's the equivalent of today saying I make $4 million a month. In the 70s, guys. He built this thing. And don't think he then took all that money and started blowing it. He took that money and built, over the next 40 years, 58 casinos. 58 casinos. Let that sink in for a moment. That's how big this individual was thinking, and that's how much this individual wanted to bet on himself. But you're probably like at this point, Mickey, why is this relevant to me? You're just talking about some rich dude with a bunch of money, with a jet. Why do I care? Well, Johnny, you should care because you can do the same thing. This person believed in themselves more than he believed in the stock market, more than he believed at the equivalent of cryptocurrency at the time, more than he believed at anything external. He was like, I'm going to bet on myself to make millions and millions of dollars. And that's what he did throughout his journey. He invested into himself, into his business, not into someone else's, not into some opportunity with Uncle Bobby over there. No, he didn't invest in any of those things. He just bet on himself. And that's a good segue into what you should do in your distribution business. You should not settle with making $50 million and then having a net profit of $1.2 million, taking that home, this is all hypothetical of course, and blowing that money. Why don't you start considering or thinking about how you can scale it? How you can get a second location or a third location, or how you can start offering different products, or maybe how you can invest that $1 million into making your own brand, into actually finding something and innovating something that provides so much value to the marketplace that people can't help but throw money at your face. Why don't you do that with all the money that's left over, as opposed to buying cars and boats and houses and all the things that us human beings tend to buy thinking that they're going to yield some kind of happiness, when in reality they don't. Now, I understand that most of us aren't in the position to worry about spending millions of dollars extra every year. But that goes for anybody that has 10,000 left over, 100,000 left over, 200,000 left over, whatever the number is that you have in your pocket. Let's do a little challenge. Bet it on you. Bet it on making yourself great. Bet it on making your business better. Bet it on getting more products. Bet it on being more innovative. Do that for an entire year. Do that for 10 years. Do that for a decade. And you might just be the person on that private jet giving kids like me a ride and telling us exactly how you did it, which to me is mind-blowing. Now, I'm not saying by any means that money brings you happiness. That's a video or a topic for another day. But I am saying that money is an amplifier of who you are. Money makes you, if you're a good person, it makes you a better person. If you give, it'll help you give more. If you care, it'll help you care more. That's what money does. It's an amplifier of who you are. And why not be able to amplify with billions of dollars? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So guys, bet on yourself, bet on your business. Stop taking the profits for yourself. Having an extra 100,000 or 500,000 in the bank is not that big of a deal. Think about it. There's people out there flying around in $60 million private jets. So anyways, guys, I hope that video helped you contextualize how you can really teleport and transform your mind into thinking bigger, into really trusting yourself, into believing that you will be something that great one day. If it did, give me a thumbs up. If it didn't, give me a thumbs down. I honestly don't care. I just want to entertain you guys, tell you these cool stories, these experiences that I have every day. Oh, also, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to make content like this every single day, and I hope that you have an amazing day. God bless.